what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. I hope you enjoyed the new guitar tours with Rhett Shull. If you haven't watched it yet, check out the link right there. Now, what was fun is we made so much good content that we decided to split it into 2 episodes. So this next episode is about pedals and warm-up exercises, and I know you're going to dig it, so check it out. All right, man, we're looking at the ground here, and this is a gear lover's dream.
Yeah.
You've got tons of cool looking pedals.
Yeah.
And let's just, if you can give us a kind of overview of your rig, the concepts behind why you use certain things.
Yeah, man.
And when, you know.
So this is my touring board and studio, my main pedal board I use for everything. It was built by Mason Marangella at Vertex Effects in Oakland.
Yeah.
I flew out to Oakland last year and actually made a video about building basically this dream pedal board.
Yeah, so I just, Brett Papa loaned me 2 Vertex pedals.
Yeah.
And there's the silver
the
steel string one.
Steel string.
And that was cool, but then the black one.
The Ultraphonics, which I have right here.
And that thing sounds so good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll just try it out. And I just keep coming back to it.
Yeah, it's like the Dumble in a box thing. So Mason helped me design this rig and put this together, and it kind of has 2 main functions. So this Boss switcher right here is the brain of the whole operation. And as you can see, this back row of pedals here is buried by, we call this the Strymon Bridge. And so all these pedals are run into the switcher. So I don't actually need to be able to hit the buttons on them because I turn them on and off with this. So we just have access to the knobs here so I can make adjustments as needed. And then the Strymon Bridge, obviously I'm using this stuff a lot. So I'll just kind of quickly take you through some of my favorite sounds. I use a lot of reverb and delay. So with the Big Sky here, I have 3 basic reverb settings I use all the time. This is kind of a light room reverb. And then this is a little bit heavier spring, like an amp spring. And then,
sounds so good.
Yeah, and then this is my go-to ambient delay. It's like a big plate thing. Pro tip with reverbs. When you're using big washy reverbs like this, you want to use something called pre-delay. So if you listen, when I hit the note, you hear the note and then the reverb comes in behind it. And what that does is it keeps you from getting really muddy. So you can hear as I'm playing these notes, you still hear the guitar come through and the reverb sort of acts like a bed underneath, which is what you want.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So then my delay settings, I like tape delay a lot. So this is an old tape setting I made. And when you compare that or combine that with
There's a lot of pedals down there.
There's a lot of pedals. Everything is soldered. I don't use solderless cables on my boards.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry,
That's
solderless cables
nightmare.
are unreliable.
Yep.
I'm sorry. So that's sort of the manual function. I can manually turn on and off each pedal. But the real reason I put this board together was because with the gigs that I have, I need specific sounds that I turn on and off quickly without having to tap dance around the board. So for instance, if I go to, let's see here. So with one of the artists I play with, Jessie Wilson, this is the first song in her set list. It's called Oh Baby. And so I start the song with this really unique fuzz tone that was used on the record, and that's this fuzz pedal back here. It's the Jex Telez Canyon Climber. And so I have to go from this sound to this sound. Literally in one beat.
Right.
That one part goes right into the next guitar part. And I'm the only guitar player on stage, so I have to cover all that stuff. So basically what's happening is this ES5 is sending MIDI signal to the 3 Strymons. So right now you can see all 3 Strymons are off, and the only pedal that's on is the fuzz pedal. And then I click this button, and it turns on the reverb and the Mobius to give me that kind of small stone. And then this one turns the delay on as well, so I can get the... Then our next song is called Clap Your Hands, and that's this fuzz pedal. That's like the verse sound I have.
Yeah.
And then the solo sound, I throw in all 3 Strymons, and I get...
Yeah, man. What's that fuzz again?
This one is the Hoof Reaper from Earthquaker Devices. So it's like an octave. It's actually 2 fuzz pedals in one with an octave circuit. So you can get that sick like. And my favorite thing that this octave fuzz does is this like thing, you know?
Yeah, man.
It's total chaos and I love it.
Nice. And then you have a boost there.
Yeah, so this is the last thing that's in the chain. So I can kick this on whenever I want. Because a lot of times if I'm on a gig, I'm playing a backline amp. So I'm not playing my rig. And so this pedal board might interact a little bit differently with an amp. So sometimes I might kick on a solo tone and it's not quite hitting the amp hard enough. And so I'll kick the boost on whenever I want.
When you need that extra push
Yeah,
over
it's
the
just,
cliff.
yeah, that's
Where
my
do you
11
go?
pedal.
And
So
then
yeah.
overdrive, what it's behind. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got 2 overdrives and 2 boosts. So like I'll go back to manual here. So the first overdrive is that ultraphonics we were just talking about. So this is like the Dumble setting. I mean,
Awesome.
killer. Then I have a Timmy, which is a staple pedal like everybody. And they sound somewhat similar right now, but I can stack them to get like a... really great solo tone. Then I have 2 boosts. This is the Lawrence Petrus Saguaro boost, and it's cool, it's just one knob. And it's kind of like a clon, so you get... It's like good rhythm tone, and then the other boost is the Vertex we were just talking about.
That's a serious rig. When you travel and you're doing fly dates,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing?
I have a, it's around here somewhere, I have a Pelican case that this goes in.
And it has to check.
Yeah,
under.
so part of the thing that Mason and I took into account when we were designing this board was the weight. So I use a Pelican Air case, which is a little bit lighter, and the board with a power cable in the flight case is 43 pounds. So I can check it without having to...
Is it 50 pounds? Is
50
typically...
pounds is the weight limit. And then what's really cool is this power supply, the one spot power supply, has a switch on the back where you can go from 120 volts to 240. So like I'll be playing in London in July. So I'll just fly this board over to London, flip that switch to be on European power, and I'm good to go.
Thank you once again, man. Everything is sounding super tasty.
Thanks, man.
Since I'm a guitar teacher, I was thinking maybe you could we could talk about actually, the playing guitar and the journey.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe we could go over like one of your like warm-up routines.
Yeah, so I've kind of developed a little bit of a pre-gig sort of routine that I do. I don't always do it, depending on like, sometimes it's a festival gig and it's just like real quick throw and go.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I've got time for headlining somewhere and I can sit in the green room, there's a couple things that I'll do. A is like stretching. So I used to be a big rock climber before I got into music. I climbed a lot. And there's actually some climbing stretches that I'll do before I play, which makes a big difference in feeling loose on the guitar. So the first one is like literally taking your hands like this and sort of pulling your palm back towards your shoulder and stretching this part of your forearm out. You can also do this one, the prayer stretch is kind of the same thing. So I'll kind of do that just to loosen up a little bit. And then on the guitar, I have a couple of warm-ups that sound horrific, but they're really good for getting your hands loose. So the first one is this, this weird sort of chromatic chord shape. But basically what I'm doing is taking a finger on a specific fret on a different string all the way up, like that. Sounds weird. And then what I'll do is I'll flip my second and third finger. So I'll strum once, flip them. So they've swapped strings essentially.
Cool.
And then I'll flip my first and fourth finger. So now I'm kind of in the opposite position I was when I started. And then I'll flip my second and third finger back. So slowly that's like. And that's a stretch and a half right there. Like that's a really weird chord shape. Not that I would ever actually play a shape like that, but what it does is sort of loosens up the fingers and the hands a little bit. And then you can sort of build up some speed with it.
Yeah.
And like I'll just sit side stage and just, especially if I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah.
Like, you know, playing weird chords on my guitar.
Did someone show you that?
Yeah, a friend of mine, Benjamin Forehand, showed me that he does. He also showed me one that's like really tough, which we can go to in a second. But the other one that I do is really simple, that I used to teach my students a lot, like my beginner students, is like, I called it the caterpillar exercise, but I'll do it first finger, third finger, second, fourth. So I'm alternating. So,
Okay.
And then I'll go down. And that's another good one to just kind of wake your hands up a little bit.
Nice. Any right hand stuff?
Not real. I mean,
It has to coordinate with that.
yeah, that's the thing is like, this is sort of a one size fits all warm up because you are alternate picking everything.
Got it.
So you're making sure when you're working on this, some things you want to be listening for are not fretting out. So that means play slowly. You want each note to sound the same, same dynamic. So you don't want quiet, loud kind of thing. And just playing smoothly. This isn't about speed. It's just about like warming up and kind of getting used to playing the guitar. Then the other one that I do, which is really kind of complicated, it's like a finger confusion thing that I just had to memorize because it's weird, but it goes. Weird. That's another one my buddy Ben showed me, but I'll play it slow if anybody at home wants to try and figure this out. It's and it doesn't make any sense. It's not based around any scale or chord or anything. It's just a weird finger confusion thing. And again, that's not something that I would never play a lick that sounded like that.
Yeah.
But it helps when you start getting into the stuff you will play because you're loose and you're awake and you've got these fast twitch muscle fibers in your hands and your wrists and your fingers that have been sort of activated and warmed up in science.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. And once again, check out Rhett Shull's YouTube channel. He's a great dude, a lot of great content. You'll love it, I know it. It's in the links below, so go there and show him some support. Also, thanks for supporting Marty Music as well. Hope to see you again real soon.